In today's episode, we are dissecting a heinous case that perfectly encapsulates the darker side of parasocial relationships, digital obsession, and a psychological phenomenon known as hybristophilia, the attraction to criminals. This is the case of Grant Amato.
If ever your life could be a true crime podcast episode, then this podcast is for you. We're about to embark on a roller coaster of emotions, insights, survival, and stories about escape. So buckle up and let the journey begin.
Welcome back to the Escape Pod, everybody. Podcast for a cause with all proceeds supporting real-life escapes from all the things, trauma, poverty, addiction, trafficking, at one heart.
Yes.
I'm Charity.
And I'm KB.
Hi, welcome back.
Hi, welcome back. I'm going to hit you first.
You gonna hit me first?
What are you escaping from today, Charity?
Lord, what am I not escaping? Well, last time we talked, I told you I was going to the Springs. I was taking a day.
Yes.
A recharge. I don't think I'm going back.
Yeah.
So we got there. It was a gorgeous day, like chilly enough to be in the hot, hot springs and, you know, enjoy it. But it's like a quiet, contemplative space, like meditative space. Like leaves are falling from the trees and it's like blue sky, beautiful. And wouldn't you know it, there were groups of people, two groups of two women each that could not shut the hell up.
Yeah.
So I heard all about the buffet on a cruise. Like, this is not earth-shattering shit. And then two women were talking about work. They were clearly venting about work and talking about the people who cannot stop talking at work.
Oh, funny.
And I'm like,
You're like, that's rich.
pot, kettle, black. And I mean, just keep staring them down. I'm like, how long are you going to, like, seriously?
That's not what that space is for.
No, it's not. And
It
so
is-
we finally told the people, like, well, we left. We left early. I'm said, because every time I was just like, I just needed to close my eyes and not hear people's shit. Like,
Yeah, you should. That space is
Yeah.
where you sit in those healing hot springs. And like you said, you painted that picture for us where like the leaves are falling. It's just the right of coolness in the air. It's supposed to be quiet. You can hear the trickling of the water through the different springs. And you should be able to just kind of peace out.
there's signs everywhere before you even walk
Yeah.
into the facility. And I guess, again, I don't know what it takes to get the special licenses to not have to adhere to the things. Like for driving, people have special driver's licenses where they don't have to use their blinkers and all that kind of a thing. I mean, I haven't figured out how some people get those things. But also no quiet voices. And I was just like, you know what? Every time it was like another cortisol spike. And I'm like, I just can't. I looked at my husband. I'm like, would it totally ruin your day if we just left? Like, I can't. I can't do this. He's like, no, because it was pissing him off too. So,
Well,
what are you escaping?
I'm escaping Mean Girls, and not for me, but like in my daughter's life. And so she has become so resilient. She's gotten kind of a hard skin, and she's really smart, and she's really thoughtful, and she's really kind.
She is.
But these kids, sometimes she was just, I'm so glad that she talks to me. And that she feels comfortable enough to just kind of let some of that out. But it's like they have this simple lunch break. And sometimes, like, girls are just mean just to be mean. And I often find her going, I don't understand why. Why do they have to be like this? And a lot of it unfolds from their own insecurities. And so I think that them being mean is just a way to try and, in a backwards way, because it doesn't really work, build themselves up. But it's hard. It's hard to try and just kind of keep telling you got to brush it off and just keep being nice. I have also told her, though, like, not to get run over by it and to just, so when people are being like blatantly rude, I'm like, call them out on it.
Yeah.
Be like, well, that was rude, and kind of laugh it off. You know what I mean? And then just move on. But it's like, it gets exhausting. And being a mom, it's like, there's part of you where you want to, like, I want to defend her,
Of course.
But if I do, then it makes it worse. And a lot of times the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So where you have mean girls,
I am so shocked to hear that.
you have mean
You
moms.
just blew my mind.
That was sarcasm for those of you
Who
that
don't know me very well. That was total sarcasm. Yeah.
Are you looking for an early morning boost or that midday pick-me-up? Check out the Homebrew Coffee Shop, a coffee shop with a cause on the One Heart campus. At Homebrew, you'll find hope for a home in every cup. It's home to delicious coffee, sweet treats, breakfast, and lunch items. It's a great place to meet friends or host small group meetings. Homebrew is located at 201 Kansas City Street in Rapid City. Open Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll see you there.
So, Grant Amato, born 1989.
That is a cool name, by the way.
It is a cool name. He's not a cool human being.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's the youngest of 3 sons to Chad and Margaret Amato. Chad was a clinical pharmacist. Margaret was a senior operations manager. So the family did pretty well. They're living in Florida, around 30 minutes outside of Orlando. I can't remember how to say their town's name. It looks like Cholula. No, I'm kidding. Chuluota or something.
Okay.
And I can't remember how to say it. So Grant was very aware of his family's and therefore his financial privilege. Family dynamic was defined by kind of a regimented and controlling father, but a loving and very selfless mother. Grant was the youngest, and then there was Cody, and they had the same parents. And then they had an older half-brother named Jason, who was, I think, Margaret's son from a previous relationship. So Margaret took care of like a racehorse that had been abused.
Oh, okay.
And often worked with troubled youth. So that's just like, it just speaks to the kind of things that they did. Yeah. And usually kids who grow up with parents like that are going to also be kind and compassionate human beings. So it's kind of like we talked about. So I don't know where this apple's falling from, but it wasn't from this tree.
Well, and some people I think we've also learned too are just broken. Like sometimes I think that people behave the way that they do because of different trauma in their life, right? But then sometimes are people just psycho?
Trauma. I think this one, here's my prediction. We'll see if you agree. I think he was a spoiled little bastard. Spoiled little shit. And when he didn't get his way, he took it to the extreme. And you'll see as we go through this what his addiction was and what he thought was happening.
Okay.
And if he couldn't have access to it, game on.
Oof. All right.
All right. So Grant and his older brother Cody were described as very close. They were pretty close in age, but Cody was like Grant's favorite person in his whole life. Like he idolized him. They did everything together. They liked paintball. They gamed together. They both shared a love for weightlifting, which I found really kind of funny because when you look at this guy, he's a scrawny little shit.
Maybe he wasn't lifting very much then.
And I even saw pictures weightlifting, and I'm just like, I mean, he was lifting, but like, that's weird. And they both pursued nursing degrees at the University of Central Florida. So Cody graduated and became a nurse anesthetist.
That is
and
hard.
Grant failed out
Okay.
of nurse anesthetist. I can usually say this word. So we'll pop it in the comments because I can't say it right now. Anesthetist. There we go.
There you go.
But he did secure a nursing job regardless in Orlando. So Grant's hobbies were kind of like what?
Even though he failed?
He failed the anesthetist.
Okay.
Like he could not make the cut for that.
Okay, but he did pass the nursing.
But nursing degrees, if I recall, because one of my good friends in college, like they're layered. So you still can be like a nurse, but then you have to.
There's different levels.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he flopped there. His hobbies were typical of many young men. He liked anime, he liked video games, constantly online. And notably, he was a gun enthusiast. So my thinking as soon as I saw that was fictional worlds and guns at the beginning of an episode. I mean, we know this is not going to be a good story, right? Like, so please, if you had any other illusions, just hit stop now. All right, so Grant didn't stay employed long when hospital staff discovered empty vials of propofol, which is a sedative.
No.
So when confronted about this occurring only in rooms he was responsible for at the hospital, he admitted to basically drugging patients at night so he wouldn't have to deal with them. I mean, if they're sleeping, it's not hurting anything, right?
Yeah, but if they're sleeping and it's nighttime, why even bother with the sedative? Anyway.
No, he just didn't. He was lazy, probably so he could get on. You'll figure it out.
Okay.
You'll figure it out.
Okay.
So he got fired from the hospital, thankfully, and then charges were filed on stealing the drugs and then dropped for whatever reason. And this was for grand larceny, I'm assuming, due to stealing the propofol. This was June of 2018. I don't know if I said a date yet.
You didn't.
Okay. So he got fired from that job. Word kind of spread. So then he struggled to find work.
Shocker.
Consequences. Weird. So he leaned into building a digital career, as so many people,
Right.
she says, as she's speaking in a podcast. But it's not my career. So feeling isolated after his arrest and realizing like his life was essentially over, Grant sought to become a Twitch streamer. Do you know what Twitch is?
No.
Okay, all of our younger listeners are going to go, I know. I'm old. I did not know. So Twitch is like, you can post videos and like viewers can interact with you on whatever your content is, and you try to get donations. So like some people do this, and
Is
that's
this still a thing?
Huh. Yep. And some of it's like there's just chatting, there's art, cooking, music, whatever.
Okay.
I think his was gaming, and then there's advertisements. I mean, I've known people who have made money and gotten sponsorships gaming.
Yeah.
I don't understand that world.
I don't either, but the gaming world is kind of a big
It's
deal.
bananas, yeah. So while pursuing becoming a Twitcher, is that a word?
I think it should be.
I'm going to call it that. He discovered a pornographic webcam channel where he immediately fell in love, Karabeth, with a Bulgarian model named Sylvie.
Okay.
He developed what researchers call a parasocial relationship, which is basically an obsessed fan. But he thinks that they're in a relationship, like, because he's special. They have a special connection.
Right.
Just a special connection. She does dances or performs better for me than anybody else.
Yeah.
Gives me little freebies or whatever. So he was all in, acting as an alter ego, and he put himself off. Like, I get the fake it till you make it. I want to be a millionaire Twitcher, whatever. But he wasn't. So he's portraying this. And so he was giving her very big tips, and it would give him that attention.
Right.
Okay.
Because that's what they do.
Yeah. So he's spending massive amounts of money on Sylvie. Money that he didn't have, because I did say he's unemployed, correct?
Right,
Okay.
right.
So he's spending, like, at first, $600 a day on her. He funded this virtual one-sided love affair by stealing credit and bank cards from his parents and brother.
Oof.
And at first claiming that they were just helping him like establish his Twitch career, like get equipment and whatever. But then he also took out loans in his dad's name. So eventually his family discovered he had spent over, do you want to guess?
I'm going to say $1 million. $2 million.
No.
Really? Higher or less?
No, I mean,
I don't
not
have a
that
clue.
rich. Okay, $200,000.
Okay.
Of their money.
Take that back out. Ask me again.
He spent over $200,000 on Sylvie of their money. This was late 2018. Somehow, despite this terrible betrayal, his family, they knew he was sick. They knew he had a problem. They stood by him. They supported him. And so they decided against pressing charges for the fraud.
That was kind of them.
It was very kind of
And
them.
forgiving and understanding.
Yep. I was going to say they'd come to regret that, but nope, they can't. So his father, Chad, even refinanced his home. He was getting ready for retirement, and he began working longer hours, sacrificing his retirement dreams so he could make up for this lost money that their son wasted. Unable to handle the pressure of not seeing Sylvie, because obviously the family cut him off from that and locked down access to all of their funding sources, Grant ran away to his aunt Donna's house, where he promptly stole from her.
Of course.
He got a hold of her bank card, and started spending money on Sylvie. So tip of the day, parents, listen, at some point, you have got to let your kids suffer the consequences.
Absolutely.
I mean, their actions, this is fraud. Unfortunately, Margaret, again, wanted to support her son, convinced Aunt Donna not to press charges.
Really?
Yep.
See, he needed consequences. He also needed to hear no. I think, a bit more.
He did. I'm trying not to victim blame here because
Yeah, I get that.
his parents did not deserve what is going to happen. But I don't know. I don't know. But this time, there were other consequences in the form of a family intervention. So at least they were like, listen, we have had enough. We're going to set up some guardrails here. So they set it up so that Cody, who again, Grant trusted more than anybody else in the world, tricked Grant into coming outside the home where they literally converged on him and had him committed to a depression and sex/internet addiction treatment facility in Fort Lauderdale, which they paid $15,000 for treatment for this
Cheapers.
kid.
Yeah, rehab, I think, or any type of treatment like that is not ever.
It's not cheap. But I mean, he's already defrauded them of so much money.
Yeah.
Could you look at your dad like you've
No.
screwed him out of his retirement? He's refinanced his home. Like,
Nope.
you are a shitty person.
Yeah. No, I couldn't.
Addiction, not I mean, I get it, but
No.
it's not okay.
No.
So he was not going to go, but Cody told Grant that he was going to take his own life if he didn't go, and that did the trick. I think it was just a ploy, but
Yeah,
it did the trick. So now Grant is in treatment, and Chad, his father, reaches out to Sylvie in Bulgaria to tell her the truth. And I'll bet that was an eye-opening meeting because, I mean, like, how do you find her but for going to her channel, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm sure he got an eyeful. Anyway, he spilled the tea. Grant was not rich. He did not own a BMW. He lived with his parents. He was a broke loser. Everything contrary to what Grant had been selling Sylvie and all the money. Mm-hmm. He stole it from us, and it was just a way to impress you, blah, 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 blah. And because he was also giving her like gifts and money well beyond what she charged for her services. Right. It was just an attempt to buy her attention and affection.
What did he think he was going to solve by telling her this stuff instead of just
that she
cutting it off and letting go? Okay.
So she cut him off.
Okay.
And she did. So she took everything to heart. She gave Grant a chance to come clean. But she ultimately closed her room to him.
Okay.
Which in his mind was breaking up with him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got to know she does this for dozens of other men.
Yeah, but he was special. Remember? Like, even though she does this for many other men.
He was special, all right.
Little did he know that every guy is
Oof.
probably special like that.
Yeah. So this was all going on while he was in treatment, but this was like the love of his life, right? He wasn't going to let this girl go without a fight, Carabeth. This is true love. So he started manipulating the situation some more because he was desperate. And so during one of his mother's frequent visits to the treatment facility, over the whopping whole less than 2 weeks he was there, because he checked himself out, he had her sneak in a cell phone so he could reach out to Sylvie. So
My goodness.
It's like, oh, my son is like really struggling and like I need to, whatever. So that happened. Anyway,
Come on.
He reached out to Sylvie. I don't know what she was thinking, but it seemed like she reneged on closing her room to him from what I could find. So after escaping treatment, his parents dealt him one final ultimatum. They presented him like a list of house rules. Grant claims that his dad expressed he was no longer dad, but merely Chad. And Grant was a tenant who must abide by these rules. He could no longer talk to Sylvie. He had to apologize to his family members. He had to make amends for everything that he'd done. Mm-hmm. And this had the opposite effect of what his parents likely intended. So Grant now is like a caged animal. And instead of becoming a productive member of society and growing the hell up, on January 24th, 2019, Grant went into the home his parents allowed him to live in and shot his mom in the back of the head with a pistol. The mom who smuggled in a cell phone for him at an addiction treatment center so he could feed his addiction.
I was not expecting that.
Then he waited for his dad to arrive home from the job he was still working at to make up for all the losses this shithead incurred. And Grant shot him twice as he walked into the kitchen. Then, to get back at his brother for tricking him, he sent his brother a text from his dad's phone impersonating their father, saying, something's going on, I need you to come home. Cody left work. He got to their house. Grant shot him in the face, killing his brother.
My gosh, I have so many chills. I do not.
Yeah. So what does this seem like to you? A fucking tantrum?
Yeah, I mean,
It's disgusting.
we could call it a tantrum. But it's like, that is unhinged. Like, this is somebody, you're right, somebody who has never had to deal with consequences of their actions. And so, I mean, he didn't even think. I'm sure he
He
just,
just had to get to Sylvie.
yep,
And he needed money.
any way to do it, anyhow he could. And these people were in his way.
If his
And it
family's
didn't matter.
gone, he's probably going to inherit.
Doesn't even care.
Whatever, the assets, and now he can fund his...
His complete addiction with
No,
this.
it's his relationship.
Whatever.
Beth. I mean, come on. When you have... It's true love.
No.
What's a few family members? It's disgusting. So, immediately after trying to stage the scene as a murder-suicide, he went to access public Wi-Fi immediately and reconnected with Sylvie using Cody's checking account.
Wow.
He also used, well, I'll get to that. I won't jump ahead. The Amato family bodies were discovered after two of Cody's coworkers called in a welfare check when he was AWOL from work. Quote, "I'm concerned that something has come of harm to my friend," one of Cody Amato's coworkers told the dispatcher. "I know that my friend's brother struggles with depression and I believe is suicidal as well, and he mentioned it to me and I'm very worried." End quote. So that's how they...
How long?
2 days, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was 2 days. So investigators walked into obviously a horrific scene. I will spare you the crime scene footage. But based on the scene, they believed he tried to stage it, like I said, as a murder-suicide carried out by Cody. So they placed the gun, he placed the gun within reach of Cody. He also had affixed a holster and gun on his dad's right hip. But because of the way the holster was faced, it was backwards.
Right.
Chad would have had to draw the gun with his left hand, and he was right-handed. So I guess all that internet activity didn't help Grant's intellect at all. But there were also 4 shell casings discovered at the crime scene, but evidence proved that neither gun in the home was used in the murders, and the shell casings were not from the bullets that killed the family.
Well, this guy clearly didn't do his homework properly. But my other thing is, I'm like, so he's trying to pin it on Cody?
Yes.
You're not going to shoot yourself in the face.
Well, he first tries to pin it on Cody.
Ugh,
I think he changes up his story. In the face, I know, right? Murder-suicide, no. Murder weapon was never found, so that is an issue. So initially, and I watched an interrogation video of this, when investigators went to speak with him, maintained his innocence, doubled the hell down. I mean, he tried to paint his dad as being violent and that he'd threatened Grant that if he came to the house again, he'd kill him after all the stuff that he had done. He said his dad was abusing his mother. I mean, he really, really, really tried to paint a picture that dad was unhinged so he could get away with murder. The detectives went at him pretty hard. Like, we can only help you with honesty, kind of an angle. They played that maybe there was something there that he was covering up for, or maybe something he was embarrassed about, like trying to lead him to feeling comfortable, like he could fess up to what the bigger picture was.
Were the detectives at this point aware of the Sylvie
No.
business? Okay, because I was going to say that would have been a...
Not yet.
Okay.
So they said they could place him there, but he kept denying it. And they're like, come on, man, we know you were there. They kept after him about what he's been doing since losing his job. And he said that he was communicating with a woman online and began showering her with lingerie and sex toys. And he really believed it was like a true two-sided relationship. His spending got up to $2,000 a day.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So while under interrogation, he admitted to
Shame on
financial
her.
fraud against his parents and brother. So although he was proclaiming his innocence in the murder, he kind of handed them a motive on a silver platter. He also never once asked about his family, like if they were okay. So if this was a horrific crime committed against your family, like, are they okay? Like, I wasn't there, but are they okay? Not once. So you'll be surprised, I'm sure, to learn that police arrested Grant, who was 29 years old at the time, 29, and behaving this way. For the murders, a few days later, he was tracked down to a hotel where he was arrested because his story didn't check out. They'd learned that he'd actually used his dead father's fingerprint the day of the murders to, like, get into his bank account through his dad's cell phone.
Oh, my God.
so he could access money, so he could feed his Sylvie addiction. That's how far gone this guy's brain was.
Wow.
After spending time in prison, he confessed to the interviewers of a docuseries, Control Alt Desire, that he had in fact committed the murders, though he claimed to have buried the murder weapon in a childhood friend's backyard, but it still has not been found. Grant was found guilty, sentenced to life without the possibility of parole in August of 2019. And at the heart of the prosecution, this is what got him, was a thumb drive that contained files copied from his computer, and forensic evidence concluded that the drive was connected to the computer after he'd killed his parents. Clearly, if he didn't know what happened, he just doesn't see the bodies lying around if he's innocent, right? So I don't know, pretty outstanding act of innocence came to an abrupt halt. So now, you might imagine that Grant's story ends here. He is safely tucked away in prison?
Yes.
Nope. So while in prison, Grant begins receiving fan mail and love letters from women who had learned his story.
What?
Incredibly, he continued to manage his parasocial relationship, sending thousands of dollars to at least one of these women. So clearly our prison system is loosely managed if this kind of crap is happening. And his story became even more sensational after the release of that docuseries. Ansley, by the way, shout out, helped us do research for this. I haven't watched it, but she did watch this for me, so I'm getting a lot of this through her. Grant somehow attracted the attention of one Victoria Goodwin. Do you know who Aaron Goodwin is?
The name sounds slightly familiar, but...
He's one of the stars of Ghost Adventures.
Okay. Yeah, see, and I don't watch Ghost Adventures, so no.
He's the guy that's the whipping boy that gets, like, the most beat up by paranormal activity.
Oh, okay.
Super cool. But his wife. So she started pen paling with Grant, and then it became romantic very quickly. Amato had a smuggled cell phone again. So allowed him and Victoria to exchange messages about how much they loved and understood each other.
I got to look this guy up.
Oh, you're just gonna be blown away.
So it's Grant Amato?
Yeah, Amato. So when Victoria tells Grant her husband Aaron would never grant her a divorce.
Do we have pictures in the resources?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I was expecting like tall, dark, and handsome, like...
No. Scrawny, prematurely
my...
bald, and terrifying.
Yeah, like he's scary. I wouldn't want to...
There's nothing sexy. There's nothing attractive.
Nope.
Like, no.
Nope, not even a little. He almost looks like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I won't ask you to do the Gollum voice since you've been doing a lot of voiceovers, but...
No.
Okay. So she says, my husband's never going to grant me a divorce. So they, as you do, devised a murder plot because...
What?
Yeah. They devised a murder plot, an actual murder for hire, like in real life, very recently. This shit's going down. So they planned to hire a hitman to kill Aaron Goodwin, and lucky for them, Grant had connections in prison because that's what prison's good for.
Right.
So Victoria had set aside $11,515 for the hitman and provided Grant with her husband's schedule and car information.
But this guy's in prison. Like, what does she think? She's just going to go for conjugal visits? Do they even allow that when someone's in prison?
I don't want to know.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Ugh.
No. I think some do.
I'm